Cool, cool. How you feeling?
Very well, thank you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you so much for coming on the platform. This is definitely an honor. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, the honor is mine, really. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no doubt. You're doing some amazing things. For the viewers who may not recognize you, please let them know who you are and definitely where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Inioluwa Uni. My stage name is Inioluwa Gem. I'm a performing and recording artist, but I'm well known right now for being a soundtrack artist in Nigeria, working on a couple of movies. Cinema movies, some on Prime Video, some on Netflix as well. Pretty much my work I've worked with a couple of producers, well-known producers. My latest work, of course, is with Tony Abraham, Malaika. But of course, I've had other works as well, like Sister by Biodo Stevens, Strangers by Biodo Stevens, um, A Young Time Ago by Lotana, and so many other ones. Yeah.
Wow, that's real cool. Yeah, you've been putting in a lot of work. So I guess I want to ask you, now when did you, yeah, so when did you first get into music? Did you start when you were young, or is it something you got into later in life, or in school, or is that something that your family does, or?
I started very young. Music has always been, well, let's just say I've always been a music aficionado. Like it's always been a go-to for me. I was a very quiet child, very, very quiet, reserved and all that, very introvert. So for me, music was like my safe place. But of course, I also happened to have family who were at some point interested in music. So that was how we connected. We would form small bands, would perform, we would just pretty much just fun all the way and all that. But it was a way of sharpening myself. Although when I got into uni, that was when I began to take music more seriously. Like, okay, this might be what I really want to do because I had a couple of platforms to express myself. After which I just said, you know what, I think I'm stuck with this. This is what I want to do. Yeah, so that's really how the journey began for me.
Wow, okay, okay, that's real cool. Now I can ask you, so you sing, you write, you produce. Do you
Yeah.
have a favorite, or
Oh, favorite? You mean a favorite song or favorite more in terms of what I do in music?
yeah, do you enjoy doing one more than the other? Like, do you enjoy more performing on stage, or being in the studio, or writing the song, or working on the track? Do you have a favorite aspect of being a musician?
I I think my favorite aspect will have to be writing a song, yeah, because for me it's like putting pieces of a puzzle together, and I get to like glean from all of my experiences, pretty much just come up with sometimes weird concepts, sometimes weird pictures in my mind, and coupled with the fact that for some of my songs, even on the soundtrack, movie soundtrack, and all that, getting a story in, I like that process. For me, it's like it's invigorating. I just feel like I can be there for hours and hours, just dreaming up concepts in my head. Like I said, I'm a very introverted person. um, Next to that is performing like on stage. As much as I'm introverted, I love the stage. There's this energy that just comes. It's part of why I just feel like this is what I was born to do. So yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. I can relate because I'm a musician myself. I really, really enjoy being in solitude and being able to lock in to what I'm writing, and kind of getting lost in
Yeah,
that, because the world is still spinning around, but you find a way to kind of
yeah.
take your mind off of
Off of
everything else
that,
that's going on.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
I can definitely dig that. Now I want to ask you a little bit about influences. Did you growing up, did you have like favorite artists, or people that may have not been in, music, but who kind of influenced you to become the artist that you are today?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of people like I always say that my being here today where I am presently is a product of the people that I've met, people that have believed in me. So I'm going to first start from the people that actually believed in me. Like I said, I was an introvert. So I mean, it took a couple of people to get me out of that shell, to really more like polishing a gold and bringing out the treasure within and all that. It took a lot of people to let me actually see my talent for what it is. And I had the gift of people right from childhood. I can remember a particular uncle, I used to call him Okutobi, and he was my very first music teacher, and he just saw potential and he kept urging me and he kept putting me in. In fact, my first stage performance was because of him. Then when I was in uni too, I had a couple of other people. Right now, the person in my life I can say is inspiring me that way is my manager. Is simply the best. Just sees it for what sees me for who I am and all that. Then in terms of inspiration, when it comes to drawing inspiration from people, I have a couple. And the crazy thing is they're just like a wide array of people, from people in Nollywood to Hollywood, and to music industry in particular. They're just a couple of names. Musicians, the big ones, they're not so big ones. I can go on and on. Like the list is really endless, because one of my philosophies is really getting to learn from everything I see around me. Just taking a lesson or two from all the people that I come in contact with. Really, yes. So
Okay, okay, that's cool, cool. Now you mentioned Nollywood. I want to ask you about a couple of the film projects that you were involved in. You have it's a movie called Sister. It's on
yeah,
Prime. It's a Cinemax film. For the viewers who may not
yeah,
have had the chance to check out that film, we always looking for something new to watch, something good, and I seen that it had
yeah.
went number one. If you could just talk about a little bit, what is that film about? And how were you involved with that project musically?
Yeah, Sister is it's really a story about a woman, a single mother. Um, of course, not by she was not single by her choice. There were just a lot of things that happened. She had to struggle. She had to raise her children on her own, and then it turns out that the father was out there somewhere, and at some points their paths cross, and then it becomes an issue of okay, I mean, who the allegiance of the children really, is it to the father or to the mother, but it's really more of an emotional story. It just shows the turmoil of a mother, the sacrifices she has to make and all of that. It's done by Biodun Stevens is really like she's one of the directors I respect so much, because of her ability to tell relatable stories that you just look at them, since I see myself somewhere, yeah, or someone from there, and she just has a way of evoking emotions when you watch her movies. And Sister was definitely one of it. In fact, it was a tearjerker. Most people cried, you know. So for me, she actually I had worked with Beatrice Stevens before. um my very first project with her was called Beauty and the Beast. And she just reached out to me and she was like, you know what, I have this movie. And it was just interesting. I didn't know. She's one of the few people that believed in me even when I was not quite sure of what I wanted to do with music at the time. So uh anyways, fast forward, she shares Sister with me. She sent in the movie, I mean the rough cuts, and then said, look at this. And then I saw then the unbelievable performance by Kehinde Bankole was incredible. Her acting was really beautiful and it embodied the character. And I was just really able to like tap into that emotions. For me, one of the ways that I express myself in writing music for movies is actually to tap into that emotion, like to actually feel what I feel that everyone else should feel from that scene, and then coin it, like speak it in a language of music, really. So really pretty much things to come from there. I listened to it. I was wowed by the story. I was impressed, and I was also inspired basically. And also, of course, because the story in a way I could relate to. Everybody has mothers that have sacrificed so much for them, and all that. So I could relate, and then it was easy for me to just draw from that inspiration and come up with music for that movie. Yeah.
Wow, that's real cool. That's real cool. I'm sure the viewers is definitely gonna tap into that. Now you was like you
Yeah.
said you was a part of more than one film, so that's amazing. To be a part of the
Yeah.
musical soundtrack because some of our favorite songs that we've ever heard, they were inspired by an actual movie. Somebody was a part of the soundtrack,
Yeah.
they saw the film, and they created a
Yeah.
master from another masterpiece. So that's just an amazing process.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you about that. Do you feel like is it a different experience, working on a soundtrack, in comparison to say working on your own personal album, or is it a similar experience?
It's not. It is and it's not. Of course, because I have to base off what I do based off somebody else's inspiration, somebody else's story. Um I find a way to make it personal to me, but at the end of the day, it's still someone else's story. But when I record my thing, of course, it's my story, it's my experience. Then, of course, the vision of the producer comes to play because sometimes you have a certain vision and the producer has another vision, and so you have to somehow find a way of coming to middle ground and seeing how to work it out in such a way that the producer understands what you're doing, and then you can work together. My music, on the other hand, I can be as experimental as I want to, pretty much because it's my voice. But however, it's similar in the sense that in every, and I mean every movie soundtrack I do, I still find a way of infusing my voice, because in a way I feel that movies have a way of touching on things that make how do I put it now, things that experiences that are common to us. Understand? Everybody has one time or another experienced love, heartbreak, betrayal, so at the end of the day, when you watch that particular scene and what is supposed to show you is probably anger, for example, I can tap from that, because of course I've experienced that before, so it's easy to really like dig deep and tap from the experience. So in that way it is similar to what I do on my personal project. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you made some good points because, like you say, when you're doing your own thing, you can be as experimental as you would like to be. I never thought about it like that, but that's a great point.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see. Now I want to ask you about one more film. The Netflix
Okay.
film Strangers. You was a part of that soundtrack, and like I say, for the viewers who may not have
Yeah.
had the chance to check it out and they're looking for something new to watch, could you kind of tell them what the film is about, and in addition to your role as being a part of the musical soundtrack?
Yeah, Strangers was it's more like so to speak, a rag to riches story. But it also has in its web some kind of humanitarian side to it, like how people could see a poor boy from nowhere and just bring him out, train him, and the person who contributed the most didn't actually know the guy, hence the word strangers. um, it's a tearjerker apparently. It's also made by Bjorn Stevens. So I mean, it was another experience. I did Strangers before I did Sister. And I mean, she also sent in the movie cut to me. I think, yeah, yeah, the movie cut. She sent in the movie cut to me, and I was like, okay, you know what? We have this on ground, and I had to, of course, think of ways to bring the story to life. Basically, um, so for me, the movie really is more about hope, spreading hope that, okay, no matter where you've come from, you understand, you can grow past that, you can reach your dreams, you can be successful. And it bears a similarity between with the Ben Carson story. I mean the real Ben Cast, there's a similarity, so you can understand that, so it's that kind of motivational movie. So I knew that all of the songs I had to do, I had to border, basically on that. Of course, when I'm writing soundtracks, I take the overall theme, work with that. Then I also take individual themes in the movie as well, and also do my work on that. And then we just basically bounce ideas back and forth with the producer, and then come up with something beautiful. Yeah. So I mean, that was really for me for Strangers. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, a lot of people, their passion is music, but to be able to take it to that level where now you incorporating it with films and getting to see these films on these major platforms, that's phenomenal. That's truly a blessing.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, no
Thanks.
doubt. Keep up the great work. Now I want to ask you
Thank
about your
you.
latest project. Oh yeah, for sure. Now, if you could talk about your latest project, the name of it and the concept behind the name, and just a little bit about the creative process and what motivated you to release that project.
Okay. Yeah. Malaika is my latest project, and it's based off the movie Malaika. I mean, same name. There's a movie that was out in the cinemas this last year, December, and it was really, it's a beautiful movie by Tony Abraham. Of course, I'm a woman, so I'm usually partial to issues that relate to womanhood. For example, this one was bordering more on on how a woman was hurting so bad because she couldn't have a child, and the stigma that is attached to it, especially for a country like Nigeria. There's always stigma attached to the fact that you do not have a child, and the worst part of it is that the husband has a child from a previous relationship, so it makes it look really bad, and all that. So basically, I did all the soundtracks, and for Malaika, it was interesting because I did a wide range of soundtracks. Like I did from Afropop, I went to R&B, I did folk. I pretty much just expanded myself and did quite a number of stuff, for the movie. And after the movie was released, for the first time I felt like, you know what, this I think I like the variety. I like the fact that it's a multi-genre body of work. I just really wanted to like share that, to say, you know what, I did this, so I released it on streaming platforms as well. So if you look for Malaika by Inioluwa Gem, it's there on streaming platforms. Yeah, so basically it's based off of the movie. There are most of the songs that they were used in the movie, though not all of them, but most of it were. But all of them were composed for the movie, but most of them were used. Of course, back and forth, the producers get to select, okay, this is one, this is one, and all of that, and of course, editing process and all that. But everything was composed for the story. So everything is like a bit of the story, like it's a story in bits, coming together to form a whole body of work. And that's what I did with Malaika. Yeah.
Wow, okay, that's dope. Now, you sent me that one recently and I got a chance to actually check it out. And I want to commend you on the versatility of the sounds. The production is top notch,
Thank
but
you.
like you say, as you go from this song to this song to this song to this song, it's a different arrangement of sounds, and that's refreshing. Because sometimes some albums or soundtracks they could get kind of monotonous and it's like the same type of flow, the
Monotonous.
same type of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah,
So
I
I
get
really,
that.
really, yeah, yeah. So you really, really did y'all, collectively did y'all thing on putting that together.
Thank you. Thank you
Oh,
very
you
much.
welcome. You welcome. You welcome. Now I can ask you about the production. What did you have? Do you kind of stick with one producer, or do you have a production team, or do you kind of just roam around? Or
I produce. Of course, I have people that I rely on in terms of, say, instrumentals. No, I do not mix and master. No, I leave that to in mix and mastering. So I really like have a team that I work with. but I produce, so most of it is really my brainchild. The rest is pretty much just all of us working together to get it right. For Malaika, especially, I produced, like if you check producers' credits, my name is there, and then there's one Stephen Osumili. So we work together on that. The only song that I did not produce at all was the second track, and that was because it was more of Afro pop, and my strength in terms of production is really not in Afropop, so I had to get someone to work with me on that. Yes. So but then I write all my songs. I wrote everything, everything, by myself. Yeah. So
Wow, that's phenomenal. I mean, I had to give you your props. I mean, I knew you was a producer, but for you to have to produce the majority of that project and to write it, and that's phenomenal. You know, a lot of people can't do that. That's like some Kanye West type of stuff. Let me see.
thank you.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Now I can ask you. Now do you have any up and coming projects that the viewers can look forward to? Are you working on anything right now?
I'm sorry, coming in. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I'll repeat the question. My question is, are you working on any
Yep, yes.
projects right now? Do you have anything up and coming? Soundtracks, solo projects, production, singing, writing, touring, events, shows?
Yes, totally. I mean, this year I'm making a point of duty in that sense to perform. So you'll be seeing me more on shows this year, and I'm also going to be releasing a personal project that is not based off a movie. And I mean, pretty much just infuse my own, like, just pretty much set my identity as an artist, and okay, so this is the sound that you get to hear from me, and that's in that sense. Of course, there are a number of movies that I'm working on right now. Like, I mean, soundtracks. There's one I'm even working right now. There are a couple in the works. So basically, but this year really, I mean, apart from what I do, like do movie soundtracks, I want to set myself self aside as an artist and actually do release my own stuff. Pretty much we just see how it goes from there. Then that there's work in progress. I'm working on a movie of my own. But that is in progress. You're not going to see this year, but there's work starting this year on that too. So yeah, basically that.
Wow, that's dope. Now I can ask for the viewers if I apologize. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Mm.
Can you hear me? Mic check. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my internet had cut off. I'll edit it, but let me repeat the question. For a
Okay,
viewer
that's
who
fine.
who for a viewer who hasn't heard your music before, do you have
Yeah.
maybe a few songs that you could recommend? If they're hearing you for the first time, you can say, "Go listen to this," or "Listen to this," or "Listen to this."
Okay. Based on the fact that people have different preferences, and I've done quite a wide range of works. Um, I mean, if you're into soul, if you're into folk, pretty much straddle things, then you should definitely listen to Abiyamo that I did for Sister the movie. For Malaika projects, I mean, project that is out on streaming platforms. If you're into folk, you find a lot of folk music there. I think Penre and Penre, that's in Yoruba, it means distribute. I mean, distribute goodness to me, basically. Yeah. So Penre, it's one of my favorites. Alamoire is also another one. That's the one who builds good, It's in Yoruba. It's in Yoruba. But I mean, if you're into that stuff, then you should definitely listen to them. If you're more into Afro pop stuff, you should listen to Nigboro. And if you're just somewhere in between, then you should definitely listen to Daddy's Little Girl. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, from the Malaika project, those are like my go-to works. I think I personally like it. And I think that you would like it too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 no doubt. Those are some fire tracks. Daddy's Little Girl, I like that a lot. Now I can
Oh
ask you
yeah.
this. Yeah, yeah. So I can ask you this. Okay. So the viewers, if they want to support you, they want to follow you, they want to check you out. Do you have social media or website? What's the best way that they can, kind of tap into what you got going on?
Yeah, definitely check me out on Instagram, Inioluwa Gem. Inioluwa Gem, Gem. Inioluwa is Yoruba. Okay, Inioluwa, Inioluwa, Inioluwa Gem. So definitely check me out on Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram for now. So yeah, just pretty much Instagram. You'd see everything that I'm up to there. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. So yeah, I want to thank you again for coming on the platform. Like I said, it's definitely an honor. I really appreciate all of the work that you're doing. I definitely look forward to the work that
Thank
you have to
you.
come. Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna go back and I gotta check
Thank
out some of
you.
those films, man, because the soundtracks are definitely banging.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I enjoyed being here. Thanks so much. Yeah.
You're welcome, Queen, and I want to thank the viewers for tuning in. It's been another phenomenal episode of Taye Speaks. So until next time, family, peace.